WA9JIB, WJ6W. Yeah, Bob, it was beautiful in Tarzana today, just like over there. I was walking home for about a mile and a half today downtown and had some coffee after that. It was a perfect day, just beautiful. Good day to be in shorts. It wasn't too hot, not too cool. And let's see, yeah, I don't know who all's in here either. I've been reading a book, and I have the TV on watching the Dodgers, who are behind 3-1 right now. And let's see, it's the top of the 6th inning, for anyone who may not know. And let's see, anyway, I kind of lost track of time, so checking in here just before net time, so hopefully it'll be a good net. Sounds like very good conditions out there. So back to you, Ron. KD6BWS, WJ6W.
Okay, Dave. WJ6W and Bob. Fine business on the weather, yeah. Same here. Got up to about 81 today, breezy, beautiful day. But I stayed in the house and practiced on the piano, so, and I guess tomorrow a storm's going to start rolling in. And yeah, I was wondering what the score was, because it was 1-0 Dodgers, top of the 4th when I came down here, and I didn't want to go back upstairs to, you know, leave the net. So, yeah, hope the Dodgers can rally. They can win tonight. They've got the division series, but you know, so we'll pray for the Dodgers. All right. So, do we have anybody else who wants to get on the early Wednesday night AMI? Come now. Okay, nothing heard. Let's see where they leave off. Yeah, next in line, W6YEC George. You still there? KD6VWS.
I am still here. Everybody's sounding great. Welcome to early newcomers to this evening. And Sharon, good to hear you again. And glad you're taking the net next week. And I'm not sure if I'll be here or not. I've got some counseling stuff coming up with somebody. And we'll see what night they are available. It might be Wednesday. They had to cancel this evening, so because of work. Anyway, we look forward to hearing you running the net again. And good evening to my good friend Mike. And Larry, of course, and Steve checking in, and Bob. Yeah, I think the sun is behaving itself quite nicely right now for the bands, low bands and the high bands. So it's one of those real nice times in the cycle, I believe. That might be the reason we don't hear the southern moth, because 75 is just the way we like it. So, especially this particular frequency. Anyway, everybody's sounding good. We're here tonight on our normal setup. And one of the things I'm thrilled about listening on this NC98, I just didn't know it was that good of a receiver. I've been really having fun with it, set up here with my Hammerlin and my Collins. And I actually prefer the NC98 in some ways. It's just really outstanding. And so that's been kind of fun. Got that out of an estate thing and rebuilt it. Somebody had gone in there and tried to rearrange the wiring and come up with some kind of a strange circuit. I wasn't sure what they were doing. So when you get those kind of radios, the best thing is just turn them on and turn them. And that's the engineer's design. And boy, this thing is working like a champ. Has been for a number of weeks while we're using it. Anyway, that's it down here. I haven't been following the game now that the Padres are out. And yeah, Bob, this is a tremendous day today. The report has come in. It looks like there is a peace agreement, and we'll see, how this continues. And the promise of the captives being returned, So it's a pretty exciting time to see how it unfolds. But you did get that correctly. Anyway, I'll sit back here and continue to listen, Ron, as you carry on taking the early. KD6VWS, W6YEC.
And 6BZY.
Okay, let me get you note down first. 6B. Yeah, I was wondering, George, if that's going to interfere with your travels with the government shutdown real quick. Do you know?
No, it shouldn't, as long as the airports stay open. We're flying from here to Miami on a red eye, so we'll see what happens. You never know when you've got a government shutdown, so I don't think so. I haven't heard anything that indicates that it will. But we'll see what happens. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, okay, good deal, George. Okay, make a quick one there, Paul, and then I'll see if Dennis is ready to take the list. N6BZY, KD6VWS.
Okay. 86VWS and 6BZY. I just wanted to pop in and say howdy. I'm not going to stick around for the net. But boy, conditions are really great. I had the Grundig on, and man, signals are just pounding in. So, and no southern moss. How wonderful is that? Anyway, I want to make sure the Super Senior and antenna system is still working, and it is. So everybody have a good evening and carry on in 6BZY.
Yeah, okay, Paul. Yeah, you sounded fantastic. So, sounds like you found your problem there with the antenna, so good deal on that. Yeah, maybe the southern moss moved off to another frequency finally after all these years of airplane. They figured out that, hey, there's other frequencies on 75 meters. We could go get a clear channel. Okay. W6DQ, Dennis, are you ready to take the list? KD6VWS.
Ron, I'm ready, willing, and able. Got paper and pen in hand, and you can go ahead and start giving me the list, because I wasn't sure who was at the beginning of the list, so I didn't write anything down. KD6VWS, W6DQ.
All right, and Dennis. Man, you got a beautiful signal tonight, just blasting in here. Okay, first on the list, you can put me down, KD6VWS. Next, we have Mike, KM6QQU. KM6QQU, Mike. And we have J, NY6L, NY6L, J. Then we have Kevin, WA6JKN, WA6JKN, Kevin. KK6IRZ, 6IRZ. And we have Greg, N6NYX, N6NYX. And we have George, W6YEC, W6YEC, George. Then you checked in, and then you have Lisa, KF6QNG. And then next is Sharon, K6IRD. K6IRD, Sharon. Then we have Mike, N6TYF, N6TYF, Mike. Then we have Larry, KN6IYC, KN6IYC, Larry. And we have Steve, KF6 KF6SYD. KF6SYD, Steve. And we have Bob, WA9JIB, WA9JIB, Bob. And we have Dave, WJ6W, WJ6W, Dave. And then Paul said that he wouldn't be what he checked in, M6BZY, and just checking out his equipment. Got his antenna working good. And that's the list as I have it there, Dennis. W6DQ, KD6VWS.
Okay, KD6VWS, W6DQ, perfect, and it was perfect, perfect speed. I was able to copy everything down, and I got all of that. And if Paul is still listening, I wish you would stick around, because man, you're just roaring in here in Inyokern. Big signal, sounds really good on that Super Senior. So, yeah, and we're just coming up on 8 o'clock. So, Ron, thank you very much for that. I guess I'll go ahead and read the preamble, then we'll look for some more check-ins after the preamble, and then we'll get the net started. So thank you so much for handing me the list. So QST, 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 welcome to the Wednesday night Amplitude Modulation International Net, or simply AMI. The purpose of this net is to promote the restoration, preservation, and enjoyment of AM equipment, including transmitters, receivers, and assorted vintage AM-type gear. Anyone using AM equipment is welcome, including modern radios capable of creating 2 sidebands and a carrier, and we also welcome all listeners. You do not need to be a member to join this net. However, as a member of AMI, you will receive a certificate that has on it your personal ID number. And if you would like to join AMI, you can go to our website, which is www.amiinternational.club. amiinternational.club. You can fill out the membership form and pay a $5 fee. You can also send a self-addressed envelope to John McGrath, N9 AMI, P.O. Box 1422, Silver Springs, Nevada, 89429. John, of course, is good on QRZ.com. John also operates our West Coast website, www.westcoastami.com. Please visit the website to keep up on AMI events. So, your AMI net control is, for this evening, is W6DQ. My name is Dennis, and we're located in Inyokern here in California. My AMI number is 1685. And tonight we're running the KW1, the Collins KW1, and using both the R390A and 51S ring receiver. This is all going out to our 540-foot horizontal loop out at 50 feet, and using the usual audio chain that I have here, the Collins mixer, the RCA mic, the old ribbon mic, and the DBX processors. So that's what's going on here. So when I call on you, please share your call, your name, the make and model of your equipment, and if you have any buy or sale items, please list them and let me know if you want to stay for the informal roundtable immediately following the net. Everybody here knows that drill. So let me see if there's anybody else who'd like to join us. This is W6DQ AMI Net Control. Okay, nothing heard, nothing seen on the spectrum display, so we're good to go here. So first up, Ron, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you for taking the early list tonight. You got a nice signal. Everybody sounds great out here in Inyokern. Got some big signals tonight, as others have said. So Ron, take it away. KD6 VWS in the West Coast AMI net, W6DQ.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. W6DQ, KD6VWS, Ron here in Joshua Tree. And AMI number is 1671, and I'm running the Valiant, 150 watt carrier, out of the Turner Plus 3 microphone, and I've got an RCA ribbon microphone, but I tried it on this transmitter and it was too bassy. So I'd have to equalize it. So there you go. Maybe one of these days I'll do that. Got a couple parametric equalizers. I could easily do that. But anyway, this one on the MC125, I have the Q multiplier hooked up, but I've got it bypassed right now. Signals are so clean and clear. It's just amazing. I mean, we're having some of the best conditions I think we've ever had, you know, with no QRM from back east. Man, that sure makes a difference, don't it? Man. And and that's going to W4 Drake watt meter to the SA2040 heat kit antenna tuner, coax up to the in-bed long wire up about 25 feet, 5/8 of a wavelength on this frequency, and quarter rack counterpoise off the shield. No on the swamp or the round table, but I'll surely be listening through. So back to you, Dennis. W6DQ, KD6VWS.
All right, Ron, very good. KD6VWS, W6DQ. Great. Nice signal. Valiant, sounding good as always. And, yeah, use that ribbon mic with a little EQ in there and then sort that out. That would be good. And I will comment, conditions are superb tonight. I don't want to jinx it by saying that, but they sure do sound good. The noise level is low. There's no QRM. I can't remember who it was that made the comment about the solar flux tonight. Actually, the solar flux is up around at 120. The planetary K index is down at 0, which is not unusual. It does get down there, but yeah, usually if the KPI, the K index is down at 1 or 0, we're going to get good propagation here on 80 meters, so 70 meters. So that's really cool. The numbers are low. And that probably has something to do with why we're not hearing the guys on the East Coast. So that's good stuff. All right, Ron. Well, thank you again for taking the earlies. I'm going to send it over to Jay, NY6L. It's your turn. Take it away, Jay, W6DQ.
All right, W6DQ, NY6L here running 12.5 watts of carrier here out of the AC Fox Tango 7 Bravo. Hopefully you can be copied. Number 1548, and we're running about 10 to 12 watts of carrier. And I'm going to be in and out. Got to go take care of chores and Diane too. So back there to you there, Dennis. Hopefully you copy and the audio is okay. W6DQ, NY6L, his carrier.
Yeah, Jay, and I messed up, so I'll fix that in a second here. But yeah, Jay, you got good copy, and 10 to 12 watts, you're like S9 over here. But that's not surprising since we're not that far apart and we're both in the high desert. So good on you and doing the job. So, and here's where I messed up. I looked at the wrong list I had here. It was an old list, and so really the next station up was Mike, KM6QQU. So, Mike, go ahead and take your turn, and I apologize for getting you out of order. W6DQ.
All right, thanks, Dennis. W6DQ, this is KM6QQ. KM6QQ. You and I get tongue-tied with that once in a while. This is Mike out of Yucca Valley. AMI number is 1768, and on the ART 13 tonight. And receiving on the BC 348 Q model. Got the amplified D104. Full wave loop antenna being tuned in with the SA2060A heathkit antenna tuner. No on the round table, no on the swap, but I will be listening through. So back over you, Dennis. W6DQ, KM6QQ.
Okay, Mike, very good. KM6QQU, W6DQ here for the AMI West Coast Net Control. Well, very good. Well, the ART13 sounds great. Always nice to hear that. And, yeah, BC 348s. I've got a Q model here. I've got to get it powered up and get it on the air. And it's all original. It's still got the original dynamotor in it, so that's kind of neat. But, yeah, you're using a full wave loop. Yeah, you've mentioned that before, the loop on 80 meters. I'm finding, I'll make a comment about this. You know, I talk about using this, it's actually a 160 meter full wave loop. I use it on 80 meters. It tunes easily on 80 meters, but I think one of the things that it's causing, and I'm going to switch back over to a dipole and see what happens, but I think I get some multipath distortion caused by the size of the antenna. It's just so big that I'm getting basically stuff that you'd have if you're running diversity. If I was running diversity, I probably wouldn't have the problem. But I think because of the length, the size of the antenna, it causes some interesting effects with multipath. So anyway, I'm gonna have to give that a try and see what happens. We'll try something out with that. But nice to have you here, Mike. And sorry I got you out of order there. We got it straightened out. I got you right in the right order on the sheet in front of me now. But anyway, good to have you here. So next on the list I have Kevin, WA6JKN. It's your turn. Take it away, W6DQ.
Okay, let's see if this thing's working. Yeah, was there a tune-up? Did I miss a tune-up somewhere along the way? Let me get this audio turned up a little bit. Hello, radio. There's my tune-up right there. WA6 Jacks Kings 9. Kevin Gilroy. I'm not even sure if I'm on frequency, but knowing the KW1, I don't even have to check, because if it was on frequency last week, it's going to be on frequency this week. But if it was the KW Sugar one, I would be worried. Yeah, it wouldn't be on frequency. Well, mine will, but most KW Sugar ones would probably not be. All right, let's see. I'm on the Collins KW1, 75A4, 638 Electro Voice, and all is well here. Been out getting all the Halloween decorations finalized. We've already started getting big crowds. I got one more thing to do, but that's okay. People are stopping by with their kids, and they just love it. The Haunted Mansion from Disneyland. All the automation is fabulous. I'm very, very happy with the Disney products. And then the last piece of the puzzle will be Madam, how do you pronounce her name? Lolita or something like that? I'm working on this high-tech projection system that's going to take the original video. It's going to be inside of a big, ginormous glass dome, and it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be full-size human head inside the glass dome, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I think it's a term.
And that requires, believe it or not, 3 different pieces of software, all having to take care of the animation. If you remember at the Haunted Mansion, no matter where you stand, she's looking right at you. To reproduce that takes quite a bit of technology. I don't think it's going to be as good as the actual one there at Disneyland, but I'll guarantee you it'll be close. So that's that project starts. Well, I've already started on it, but I think I'm going to dedicate 100% of my time starting this weekend. I got to get all of the communications cables ironed out and all that stuff. It's pretty sophisticated. I won't get into it here, but if you remember the lady inside the glass dome just ahead, there at the Haunted Mansion, it is a sight to see. All right, well, that's it for me. I'm going to say 73, and I'm going to get back to wiring up these communication cables, and I need to do what I need to do with that project that's coming up. So, no swamp, no wants. Oh, you know what I want to say? I want to say that I heard Billy on the vintage, what was it, the vintage single sideband net the other night. He sounded great, and I worked him this morning, or I think it was this morning, yeah, this morning, in the 40 meters. And he's doing great. I just couldn't believe it. Oh, Billy, N6YW. Man, he's awesome. I'm going to call him Mr. Awesome. So if you hear me say I talked to Mr. Awesome, that's Billy, N6YW. Boy, I'm sure glad he's back. All right, well, that's it. Back to you, Dennis, and thank you for running the net tonight, doing a fabulous job as always. W6DQ, W6JKN will be listening clear.
Okay, Kevin, W6JKN, W6DQ, net control for AMI West Coast tonight. And yeah, I'm not doing as good a job as I should be doing. I missed the tune-up, and I realized why is I didn't scroll down on the computer screen far enough because it's on the second page. So I read through preamble, but I didn't go far enough. So sorry about that, folks. Hopefully everybody's tuned up. Yeah, the KW1's sounding good, Kevin, as always. And we're running, of course, like I mentioned, we're running the KW1 here, and it looks like it's pretty darn close. I do watch my signal on the using the Flex on an auxiliary antenna, and I just keep an eye on the spectrum display just to see what's going on. So it looks pretty good. The modulation level looks good on the mod monitor and all that. So you sound good, and it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with the decorations. I wish we had the crowds out here to be able to do something like that. We get 0 kids because we're in the middle of everywhere, or the middle of nowhere, however you want to look at it. So anyway, fun deal. Enjoy that. And I'm going to take a couple more, and then we'll look for some more check-ins. So up next, I've got Jeff, if he's back, KK6IRZ. Hopefully you're back from picking up the wife. Take it away if you're there from W6DQ.
All right, very good there, Dennis. W6DQ with everybody else here on the Wednesday night AM International Net. This is Jeff in Chino, California. KK6IRZ, the thriving metropolis, future home of a superhero. Still don't know who that's going to be, but we're anxiously waiting to find out. And hopefully it won't take too much longer until they've decided on that. But you know how those type of things go. Maybe they'll have to create a brand new one for us. I don't know. And yep, all back home with the wife. Honey, you want to say hello? Okay, they probably heard that, even though you're back in the in the back of the room and whispering. But thanks for doing the net there tonight, Dennis, and thanks for doing the earlies, Ron. And everything is beautiful this evening as far as receiving. I don't even have a receiver turned on. I'm just listening out the window. Conditions are so good. No, actually, I got the R390A chugging away in the 16 kc position and backing it up a little bit with the 735, of course. But so far, it's just beautiful listening here on the R390A. Operating the homebrew transmitter tonight. Normally a 5500 modulated by a pair of 813s, but I've been doing some burn-ins and testing of 4-400, so tonight I'm running with a little bit reduced, using a 4-400 instead of the 5-500, and have been hopping and skipping around the bands. Had things all loaded up on 10 meters there for the past couple days. Been on 12, 17, 15, so been having a little bit of fun while the conditions have been holding up here lately. And after my daughter, who had visited for about 10 days, is now back in Maine, and I just had a new great-grandchild born 2 days ago. I forget whether it was a boy or a girl, though. I better check that. Was it a boy? I guess it was a boy. Starting to lose track. I don't have much for the audio stuff. This is a very basic little $12 dynamic microphone going into a pretty simple 286S processor and just equalization at the end to hopefully make it sound okay. Nothing too special. And that all goes out there to my Johnson kilowatt matchbox open wire line. Center fed 128-foot dipole in a square root configuration with the feed point at about only 30 feet off the ground, and the open wire line zigzagging back and forth between the main house and the ham shack. I don't have anything to sell or trade this evening. My AMI number is 1809. Very nice hearing you on again tonight, Sharon. I would say that you got the process all down, and it's nice hearing you consistently in here on a Wednesday night. But don't be shy. You can also get on Monday nights or other nights also. Don't save it all for one night. But glad to hear you in there. Again, Dennis, thanks for doing the net. Ron doing the earlies and enjoying the conditions tonight. Don't know if I'll be here for the round table, but I certainly will have the speakers rolling as the net goes on. W6DQ with the Wednesday night AM International net. This is KK6IRZ in Chino, California.
All right, Jeff. Very good. KK6IRZ, W6DQ, net control for the West Coast AMI this evening. Well, doing good. You sound good as always. And hello to the wife. We did hear her in the background. That was cool. And I'm glad you were able to get her home safely from work. That's always a good thing. And yeah, that's like I say, you've talked about your $12 mic before. Sounds pretty darn good at this end. So no complaints about the audio whatsoever. Big signal, a lot of big signals tonight. So fine business, and my pleasure to take the nap. Since George is kind of iffy, and I think he's having, if I recall, he was having radio problems, problems with the transmitter, problems with the antenna, and Jeff from Visalia was going to go up and give him a hand with that, I thought, and maybe give him a hand getting it back on the air. And I do have to mention, I forgot, I had it noted here in my notes, and I missed it about, Kevin was talking about Billy. We've been talking to Billy a lot lately, not just on the air, but he and I communicate all the time, and the reason he's been off the air for so long is he's been working on his music, and he recently injured his hand, and so he can't play. He's got to let that heal up before he can start playing again. And so he's got a couple of months to go with that process, and so he decided to go play radio some more. So he's gotten some new equipment. You know, he got rid of everything he had. He's picked up some new gear, and he's set his station up at their cabin, you know, up in the mountains there, and that's where he is. He's been there. He went up there over the weekend, and he may still be there. If you spoke with him this morning, he would still be up at the cabin there, basically getting the cabin winterized. But he's also playing radio up there. So I've had quite a few conversations with him recently. So it's really great to have him back. He wants to get back on AM. He's trying to secure a 32V3. I think he's got access to it. He just doesn't have it yet. So he'll have that on the air before too long. So that's cool. That's cool. So Kevin, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that was on the sideband roundtable last night, the vintage sideband roundtable Tuesday night. So let me turn over to Greg, and Greg, after we have Greg on, I will ask for some more check-ins. So Greg, it'll be your turn now, N6NYX and the AMI West Coast Net, W6DQ.
Yeah, thanks. It's going to be a 6DQ and 6NYX. Yeah, AMI 1761 here, and my name is Greg. November 6th, November Yankee X-ray, and I'm located in La Mesa, California. The rig here is a Kenwood TS-950, which is mounted by most people's standards here. Just a hand rig. Over $50 though, because it says Japan on it. And that goes to a 10-tech 422 Centurion, which requires about 300 and some odd watts killer. And that goes to a 238 tuner, open wire line out, 30 foot up or so, to a mostly horizontally polarized loop antenna around the yard. I got a 100 foot by 100 foot line with 272 foot wire between 3 push-up masts, 4 push-up masts, and a tree. That works. And I don't have anything for sale or want, and I'm not going to be around for the round table. So I just feel the crowd that the cacophony of tin I've become so used to with Absent, I think the very first time on this net. So in any case, I'm tuned up well enough. Although I do miss that procedure. And we'll be looking forward to the next time. So let me turn back to you and see what you can show for the leads here. W6DQ and 6NYX La Mesa.
Okay, Greg, N6NYX, W6DQ, net control here for the AMI West Coast net. And yeah, I again apologize for missing the tune-up. I don't know what I was thinking. But hopefully everybody is tuned up. And if you do need to tune up, I would request that you move off frequency and go out of the passband, which is what I would hopefully do if I had to tune up. But I think so far I think everybody's doing okay. But Greg, nice signal up here. The 850 and the Centurion are doing a fine job. And it's always good to. It was quite a surprise to hear you on here the first time, because I hear you all the time on the Sunday nets with Marty and the gang down there in L.A. and the folks down San Diego way. It's always good to hear you in there. So, because you always got a nice signal up here. So good deal. And like I say, great to hear you on AM as always. And yeah, it is interesting that I shouldn't say anything because it'll jinx it. You know how that goes. But anyway, we won't say anything about propagation. So let me take a quick break and see if there's anybody else who would like to join us. This is W6DQ Net Control from the West Coast AMI net. Okay, I got, let's see, is it, N6, wait a minute, I'm missing it, TKW, oh, and NA7RH. TKW, is that Andy in there? Okay, it was an N6 TKW, did I get that correct? Well, I got Bob, NA7RH. The other station that checked in, could you repeat your call sign one more time? I kind of muffed it here.
Whiskey 6 Delta Kilo Whiskey.
Okay, got it that time. The Whiskey 6 Delta Kilo Whiskey. I've got you on the list. Great. And I got NA7RH. Sorry about messing up your call there. I got some static in the way, and it sort of obscured it. So let's see if there's anybody else who wants to check in. Please come now. Okay, very good. With that, back to the list. Next up is George with always a big signal up here in Indian Kern. George, W6YEC, it's your turn. W6DQ.
Yeah, okay, very good, Dennis. Big signal down here, too, from you. W6YEC. AMI 1197. And you mentioned Billy looking for going to pick up a 32B3. My back instantly started hurting. You know, that thing's over 100 pounds. Man alive. Those days are bye-bye for me. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, it was nice to hear him on Tuesday night, that's for sure. Okay, on your continual communication, I guess I had heard that he had hurt his hand and couldn't play his instrument at this time. So I hope that heals up real quick for him. Sounds great. And let's see, I had some other notes here and I can make out what it was talking about. Anyway, we're running the normal AM setup here tonight with the Viking Ranger 2 driving a MLA 2500 for about 300 watts and AKG microphone, Behringer equalizer. And let me look over here. Yep, right at 300 on the carrier. So doing pretty good. And using the full wave loop up there about 40 feet in the air. A homemade open feed line coming in and with PVC spacers. And it's really done a good job for me. And it comes right through the wall, right to the tuner. And these days we're just going to a switch where they're seeing on the switch a 4-to-1 current balance. And I have that going to a switch that switches me between the Alacraft tuner for sideband and the vintage automatic tuner, the MX. Excuse me for sneezing on the air here. That handles all my vintage equipment, so that's really worked out pretty nice. I can go from band to band pretty easy with vintage gear these days. So anyhow, that's the layout of the land here tonight. And thanks, Dennis, for taking the net. And I guess you said Lisa's going to pop in here. I thought maybe she'd be here already. But we'd have two ladies on the net tonight. That would be great, Sharon and Lisa. So our leading females on AMI and other vintage equipment stuff. Anyway, thanks for picking us up. And I'm going to say 73 myself. And Milton lived with my wife for a while. And she just got home. She was off tonight. Took dinner up to our son and daughter-in-law and the kid. And watched the kids for a while my daughter-in-law was recovering a little bit from a surgery. So she just got home and thought it was good join her up in the living room. 73s, everybody. Thanks, Dennis, again for taking the net. We'll see some of you guys probably tomorrow on the Drake net. They're on 38.95 in the evening. That's always fun. So come join us. You don't have to be operating Drake. Just maybe have an interest in it. And it's always fun just chatting with one another. Take care. W6DQ, W6YEC. Let me go clear.
Oh, you bet, George. W6YEC from W6DQ, and it's my pleasure. And 7-3 to you. Lisa is next in line and sitting next to me here. So that's really great. And the Viking 2 sounds good. I should mention that I've got another Viking 2 sitting in the back of my truck right now that came from Max's. Interestingly enough, it came from me originally. Max picked that up years ago from me here at one of the barbecues we had here at Faraday Fields, and he never did anything with it. It was sitting there, and of course the cover's missing. I don't know where the cover is. When he got it from me, it had a cover, but I got the Viking 2 and the VFO to go with it. So I'm going to try and get that back on the air. It'd be fun to operate that. We've also got a Valiant sitting out in storage that I'd like to get back on the air. I had it on a while back when I was living in Fullerton, but I think I lost something in the audio section, so I want to go work on that and get it fixed and back on the air. So great, George. Fine business on the daughter and surgery, and hopefully she's recovering well from that. And enjoy your evening. And again, 7-3 to you. And with that, yes, we've got the next two are ladies here from the AMI net, and I'm looking forward to both of them here tonight. Next up is Lisa, KF6QNG, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to her because she's just a couple of feet away to the right, or the left, my other right.
Okay, well, good evening, one and all. Good to be here tonight. A little tired. Got back into town today. I went down south for family matters yesterday, so decided to stay the night so I wouldn't get home too late last night. Anyway, thank you, Dennis, for running the net this evening. And let's see, what else is going on? I don't know. Came down with bronchitis last weekend. Anyway, so I got for not wearing my mask. I knew better, and I ignored it, so I'm paying the price. But got some good meds, and I'm on the mend and feeling better, so life is good. So let's see, my AMI number is 1766. Have no wants, God's needs, any of that. So anyway, just listen to all the stories here. So with that, I'm going to send it back to Dennis. W6DQ from KF6QNG.
Okay, Lisa, thank you. KF6QNG and the AMI West Coast Net W6DQ Net Control. Well, very good. It's nice to have you back, although well, we'll be together for a few days at least. We're not going out of town again for any length of time, but as you know, I've mentioned this before, that Max, those of you who knew Max, KJ6HN, he passed away back in May. And we've been helping his sister with clearing the radio and electronic gear out of his estate up there in Darwin. And we're going to head up there Saturday morning for a celebration of life for Max. And looking forward to that, meeting a lot more of his friends that I haven't seen for a long time. I've actually met quite a few of the folks that live up there, but I just have not been able to see them for a long time. But it's so beautiful up there. There's no question in my mind why Max wanted to move up there. It's such a beautiful place. High altitude, clean air, you know, it's nothing in sight but an old mining town. So that's pretty cool place. So anyway, Lisa, it's nice to have you back. Thank you for coming back today. Good stuff. Well, without further ado, over to our other lady of AMI, Sharon, K6IRD. So good to hear you, and I'm glad you're here tonight. And always a pleasure to have you on the air, and always a pleasure to speak with you on the phone. So, Sharon, over to you, K6IRD from W6DQ.
Well, did you forget all the times that you've been here? I've seen you. You travel down this direction a lot more than Wayne and I ever did up to your direction, or now myself going your direction. But I thank you for each and every time that we have communicated with each other. By the way, Dennis, real quick, did you receive a copy of the Celebration of Life invitation?
Yes, we did. Tony sent that to Lisa this afternoon, so we did get it. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Okay, then with that, I was going to ask if there's anybody on the AMI net tonight who would like to receive a copy of it, that maybe you could send them a copy. I don't know if when you send it out to the Powell people, if you also send it out to the AMI people. But I would like for all of them to at least get a copy of it, and if they can make it, it would be just wonderful if they could. So if you'll do that for me, Dennis, I would really greatly appreciate it. Let's see now. Let me go here. Well, right now I am translating on using a transmitter, the big 20D-2 AM transmitter, and my receiver is a 51S1. Speaking of my receiver, it has been pretty much stable on every night that I've been on with you all. And then, I just noticed something. But tonight, because of the conditions being so good and everything was so loud, I told you I had to turn the gain down, the AF gain down. But before I turned it down, it was in its normal position. And for some reason, my meter, the needle was pegged all the way over to the far right, which I thought, well, that's because everybody is sounding so loud. But then when I didn't get the best transmission, hearing them, that I started snapping the meter, and she'd pop back, but she'd go right back to the far end. Well, without my chief engineer here to tell me why that's happening, I thought I would mention it, and then maybe somebody could either tell me what to do about it. Obviously, it's not interfering in anything. I'm hearing perfectly well with everyone, but I think that something needs to be done. But I just happened to look up, and right now it's all the way down to 0. So it went all the way from being pegged at the top and all the way back to 0. So that's just on the meter itself. When I heard Ron saying he was practicing on his piano, I didn't realize that he had a musical talent. And Ron, I'm sure he's watching the game now, but if he were listening, I think that's wonderful. People that have talent in the areas is really great, and I certainly appreciate anyone with talent like that. I know I have talent in other areas, but that's just me that knows it. Anyway, I was also wrote down here Murphy's Law, which you've been saying all along, that we keep bragging about the conditions that we have tonight. That Murphy's Law says, I'm going to change that for you guys. So let's not let it happen, hopefully. And then regarding Billy, I was going to ask you a lot of questions about Billy, either on the phone or whatever, but you answered them tonight. One of them being, I knew that he had gotten rid of all of his equipment, so how is it he's back on the air again? Unless, of course, he went and picked up a few new pieces. Hopefully he doesn't get rid of them all this time, because you never know when something else might come up. And then the other thing I wrote down was in regards to Mike. Tune your final, Mike. Mike, it's so good to hear you on the air. And I don't know if you know that Wayne passed away, which will be 4 weeks from Friday, day after tomorrow. It'll be 4 weeks that we lost him. But he was in so much pain and so much difficulty in being alive that he's in a much better place right now. And some people don't like to hear that, but God knows he is in a much better place. And he's not having to worry about anything or be hurting or anything like that. So he's watching over me, making sure that everything is going well. And I think he's encouraging all of my friends to come over and help me, because I am getting a lot of help, especially from Dennis. And I've got my friend John in Las Vegas. He and Dennis are working together to help me out. Then also, I wanted to tell you that when W6DQ tried to check in, he was so weak that I couldn't pick up his call at all. So assuming that he was the one that tried to check in before before Bob, in a 7RH tried to check in, whatever, I couldn't hear him, so I'm glad they got back in. And then I want to turn it back to you, Dennis, but before I do that, I did want to thank Ron, KD6BWS, for taking the early check-ins, and I want to thank you, my friend, for taking the net tonight. And I am looking forward to doing it next week, which reminds me also to say how much it meant to me, and I know it did to Wayne also, that I was missed and you all held my position open for me. That just gladdens me so much. So yes, I do want to continue to be the third Wednesday night net control. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Dennis. W6DQ, this is K6IRD.
Okay, Sean, very good. Great, K6IRD. And the West Coast AM9 at W6DQ, and yeah, and there were I know that Steve and Dave were filling in while you were gone, and then they asked me if I would, and I was happy to do that, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to be able to fill in for George tonight. It's wonderful, and it's wonderful when the conditions are so good as they are tonight. And regarding the 51S1, there could be a couple of things going on, but if somebody doesn't get over there first, when we come back down there next time, I'll take a look at it. It could be one of a couple of things. There's a switch that could be in the wrong position. Since you turned the audio gain down, it could be the lever switch that's right below the meter. If it needs to be over at the far left to measure the signal strength. And the other thing is the RF gain control on the lower left side of the front panel, if it's turned down, that'll cause the meter to go up full scale. So those are things to look for on that receiver. Otherwise, if there's a problem, we'll take a look at it when we're down there, and we can work on it. So and very good on that. Yes, the message from Tony we got. I don't have a mail list for the AMI group here, but what I would suggest is if anybody's interested in a copy of that, drop me an email. Real easy. Just send me an email and tell me that you'd like to get a copy of Sharon's invitation, and just send it to my call sign at arrl.net. And if I get any requests for that, I will forward it out. I'll also send it out to the CCA, and I will send it out to the Vintage Sideband group. So we'll get it covered out there, Sharon. And tell Tony thank you for sending that to us today. That was nice. And looking forward to seeing you very soon. Good stuff. Yeah. So next up, tune your final, N6, TYF. Mike, it's your turn. Please pick it up from W6DQ.
Jay's very low under 10 watts. Pretty good talking out here in San Diego. So he definitely is well kind of researching out there. The conditions this is Mike. We're in Downtown. It's actually sending a AMI number is 945. Running an inverted U. It's actually band is about 6 times. Inverted U 80 and inverted V on 2. And then it's right angle control. So there's a separation there, but it's so they're not a parallel. Helps a lot with that. Which has a great AM single, so that's there as well. And Graham, I haven't here, and I thought when we were doing EEC there in North Park, anyway, hello, yes, indeed. I don't need to say that he has helped bring us on the phone and people, and as he did, with myself. And memories of, I came up one time with my doctor with probably, maybe 12 years ago or even 14 years ago. I brought up my adolescent son, and we brought up my co-op there to help me put the top on. I was still the front, but he did the whole thing. I couldn't didn't want anything. Get my son involved with stuff. We never did things with him radio. So it's also the local survival is monitoring the situation. So that's here from downtown.
Okay, Mike, very good. Oops, we got to switch that off. N6TYF in Del Cerro on 100, well, actually, what, 25 watts, actually, of carrier, hopefully, with your 7300 W6DQ. So you're sounding good. You're right about the 7300. Those are great little radios. We've got one here, and we use that for portable operations, and it's just a superb little radio. They did such a great job on it. I'm curious to see the new one that's come out that's replacing it, the Mark II. That'll be interesting to see. Well, I know a couple of things they've changed, which will be a great addition, which is things like adding a receive antenna, a separate receive antenna input. So that's really great. That is really great. And so the 7300 is making it. We're getting a little bit of QSB now, but I was certainly no trouble reading you and copying you, Mike. So thanks for being there. And we'll look forward to next time. So next I have next up I have Larry, KN6IYC. It's your turn from W6DQ.
What a pleasant net tonight. I'm not going to change the propagation by even talking about it. I'll just say everyone's got just superb signals. And Jay just never ceases to amaze me. His signal down here with that internet halfway. You know, he was just as strong as ever when he was running minimum power. It's just a beautiful night. So that's all I'm going to say about that because I don't want to mess it up. Anyhow, let's see, my AMI number is 1815, and tonight I'm on the Johnson Viking Ranger. T104 microphone is amplified and slightly modified. SB610 scope, model FM30 frequency monitor. It says I'm off a little bit. That's a GSP 101 linear amplifier. Doing about 340 watts of carrier, I guess, from here. Watching that happen on the W4 watt meter. Hamlet HQ 170 with its matching S200 speaker. Inverted feed and 100 feet. Good to all my neighbors here today to hear Mike down in Del Cerro and Greg over in La Mesa and of course George and all was in here earlier. We have a good San Diego County contingent right now. So no on the swap, no on the round table. Good to hear everyone. Good to hear the ladies out tonight. That's always a special bonus, I guess. So nothing more to report from here, and I'll send it back to you, Dennis. Thanks for running that. W6DQ, KN6IYC.
All right, Larry, fantastic. KN6IYC and AMI West Coast Net W6DQ. Yeah, I'm noticing that I'm drifting off frequency a little bit. I'm going down the band, so as the KW1 is warming up, it's drifting a little bit. So it's still pretty close. So nobody should be having any problem hearing me. But yeah, Ranger and my GSB 101 is a good combination. It sounds great, and nice night conditions are really super tonight. I'm really enjoying this a lot, and just hearing everybody direct. I don't even have I didn't even bring up KFS. Normally I'd have KFS running in the background just in case, but no reason to tonight. Everybody is just so sounding so good here. So I will comment, Larry. I'm hearing a little bit of what sounds like 60 hertz hum on your signal, and I'm not sure if it's maybe in the audio chain. You might have a loose ground or something, but just caution you or warn you of that there's a little bit of hum in there. I checked it with two different receivers, and I'm thinking, well, maybe one of my receivers is going south, but both receivers, I heard it. So I just wanted to comment that and share that with you. but good signal otherwise, and coming in here just fine. So nice to have you here. And so next on the list we got Steve, KF6SYD. It's your turn now, my friend. Go ahead and take it away from W6DQ.
Thought I heard Sharon break in. Sharon, did you want to break in for a minute?
Thank you, Steve. I just wanted to let you know, Dennis, that I did pop the lever over to the left to the RF part, and the needle is working just fine now. So you're done taking care of it. You're senior operator there. Thank you.
Oh, that's great, Sharon. Substitute engineer. Very good. Yeah, nothing more than switching the wrong position. Okay, thank you for letting us know. That's great. Steve, go ahead and pick it up. W6DQ.
All right, Dennis. Yeah, Sharon, that was my... I didn't think of it till Dennis said it. I'm like, yeah, when I turn the RF gain down, the S meter always jumps up to on everything. So that's what it was. I'm glad we got that fixed. KF6SYD, Stephen Langley, KMI 1708, CCA AM 1000D transmitter, and boy, what a great net. Just sit back and enjoy hearing everybody. It's been really nice. I've got nothing but a list of comments, so we'll go down that. And JNY6L, that's got to be that little transceiver that you picked up at the swap meet, the little Yaesu, little bitty HF transceiver. Covers all the bands. It sounds good. It's just a little weak here, but come on, tuner. Good. Oh, yeah, that's better. So real good on that. And Jeff KK6IRZ, great, not great, but great grandchild. My, what a thing! Congratulations. And Sharon, we all work together always to hold your place anytime. We know that's always the right thing to do, unless someday you let us know that you don't want us to anymore, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I'm just, we're so pleased to have you with us, and it's just so satisfying. What else? Oh, Billy with the pen, that sucks. But it's good to hear he's back on the air on sideband at least. I'm looking forward to him getting back on AM. Well, I hope his hand heals up. Oh, it didn't get hurt too bad. That really sucks. So glad to hear he's back on. And Dennis, you were talking about the 160 meter loop, and you were talking about multipath and all of that, and I'm like, maybe you were, of course, that's all I can think of. You were maybe talking about phase distortion that I'd be able to detect on my end on your transmit signal. There's never been any at all. Of course, you could have been talking about something receive related, so in that case, yeah, you might want to try it. But as far as we're all concerned, out here in Radio Land, your signal is superb always, so just thought I'd throw that in. And thank you so much for taking the net tonight. We all appreciate it. And yeah, no tune-up. Wow, usually a tune-up is something cute to do, but maybe Kevin could have really used one. But you know, Kevin, you sounded great. You were right on frequency and sounded great. So, like you said, the KW1 just, if it was good last week, it's still good this week, and it holds true. And then to Dan, W6DKW, I hope he's still here. I looked you up, and you're in Escondido, where I lived for a couple of years, going to high school in 74, 75, and 76. And we always would spend a lot of time, us kids, on Valley Parkway. All kinds of places we'd meet and talk. It was a great place to be that time in life. And I went through Escondido years later, and it's all gone. Everything on Valley Parkway has been erased, and everything's been replaced with something else, except for, and I looked it up to make sure it's still there, the Wrangler Barbecue on Valley Parkway, 1644 Valley Parkway. It's still there. And it's the only thing I could find that hadn't been replaced by something else. So you might want to go down there if you want a roast beef sandwich. It's still there. No round table tonight. And nothing's really going on special around here. Everybody's doing good. So back to you, Dennis. W6DQ for the net, KF6SYD.
Okay, Steve, fantastic. KF6SYD and the AMI West Coast Net W6DQ. Well, thank you. Appreciate the comments, and appreciate the comments on the transmit signal. It's interesting. Yeah, it is probably, yeah, you could call it phase distortion. That's what I'm hearing. It's not, on the receive side, you get the nulls because of the, varying paths from the skip. Skywave, and so I think that's what I'm hearing. And I'm not sure, I've never run into that before, I've never really thought about it. If the antenna is big enough, if it's big enough to cause those kinds of phase distortions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to I haven't done this, but what I need to do is switch to a separate receive antenna that is maybe like an active antenna, just a probe, an E-field probe. That way I wouldn't have as many problems with that. I'm going to have to look into that. I've got the stuff to do an E-field probe, so maybe I'll just set that up and try it out. But yeah, I think that would make a difference. I've also got it's just not set up yet. I've got the 4 high towers in the air. I've got all the phasing lines are all in place. The switch box is installed, and I've got a couple of pieces of coax that have to be hooked up and the wiring put in back to the ham shack to get that going. Have the 4 square up and running, and that's actually primarily a transmitting antenna for me. So anyway, let's see. Let me take a quick break again and see if we got any more people who would like to check in. Do we have any other folks listening who would like to join us here for the West Coast AMI net? Please come now. This is W6DQ.
5, Bravo, Lima, Sugar.
Okay, K5BLS. That's a new call to me. Name and location there, please.
All right, sure thing. My name is Jeff, Julie Echo Fox, and I'm located in downtown Carson City, Nevada.
Fantastic, Carson City. So not too far from us. We're just right down 395. So few hundred miles down the road from you, Jeff. Welcome. I think that's the first time I've heard you on this group that I've been on here, so you may have been here before, but I've got you on the list. And nice signal here tonight from Carson City. That's great. All right, let me see if there's anyone else who'd like to join us. I'll make a quick listen and call if you want to join the AMI net here, please.
WA6JUS.
All right, John, gotcha. WA6JUS. Fantastic. Nice signal here as well tonight, John. Nice to hear you on. All right, let me keep going here. Next, I've got Bob, WA9JIB. It's your turn. Take it away. This is W6DQ Net Control.
Okay, W6DQ and West Coast AMI Net. WA9JIB here. Bob in La Cañada. Stand by. Testing 1. Well, that's sticky meter on my Valiant. It's flipping around now. So anyway, this is Bob in La Cañada. And a few new folks. So yeah, La Cañada you probably never heard of. Sleepy little suburb on the foothills of the San Gabriels, just north of Glendale, a little bit northwest of the Rose Bowl, Pasadena kind of area. So I'm running my usual AM station. My D104 unamplified goes into my Johnson Viking Valiant version 1.0, crystal controlled. Get about 145 watts of carrier, goes on up to my inverted V dipole, which hangs on a 35-foot mast attached to the house. Feed it with coaxial cable. I do go through an MFJ tuner, and the receiver is a Hammerman HQ129 X-ray. A couple comments. Dennis, interesting about Billy getting out of music temporarily because of an injury. We got into music for an injury 1991, I was playing softball at the JPL League, and first practice game of the season. First time up at bat, didn't take any warm-ups or anything like that. And took a vicious swipe at a ball. Supposedly hit it really well, but I dislocated my left shoulder in the process. Man, was that painful. And there's nothing they could do about it except put it in the sling and let it heal. And after a while, I picked up my guitar again, just as a therapy for my left arm. And I've never stopped. So I got into music or back into it from an injury. So kind of the flip side of what Billy's going through. And I haven't played softball since then. I sure would like to again sometime. That would be kind of fun. I always enjoyed that game. Let's see, a comment on the S-meter. Yeah, that's a question I've always had. Most receivers that I own, when you back off on the RF gain, or sometimes as it's called sensitivity, the S-meter goes to the left. But not on my 75A4, not on other Collins, I guess, and I think not on my SX28, although I haven't used that in a while. So why does it go to the left on most receivers, which I would consider the logical thing to happen, and why does it flop to the right on other receivers when the RF gain is down? Maybe it's just a different way they pick off the AGC voltage for it, I don't know. K6DDX always told me it's the right way is to have it flop to the right side, but he never explained why that was right. Maybe just because Collins did it that way. So if you know, Dennis, or if anybody knows, I'd sure like to know, because that's always been a mystery to me. And let's see, also a note to Steve and Jeff that this Saturday is the Scars Meet in Burbank. I think you guys came to it last October. We had a ball hanging out with you, and it's always in Burbank in June and October. It's this Saturday, 7 a.m. And Jay is going to be there, Juan will be there, I'll be there, Vaughn will be there. So some of our gang will be there. It'd be kind of fun if you guys showed up. I know it's a bit of a drive, but anyway, if you guys were to show up, that would be kind of cool. So let's see, I talked about stars, softball, talked about the S-meter. Other than that, all I can say is no AMI number, no buy-sell swap at the moment. And let's see, yeah, I'll say negative on the round table. We got a ways to go here, and it's kind of late, so. But anyway, your signal sounds great from Inyokarn. The KW1 is doing a fine job, and I concur the band is very, very nice tonight. Back to net, W6DQ, WA9JIB.
Okay, Bob, great. WA9JIB and the AMI net W6DQ, fantastic. Well, you're sounding good up here too. Lately you've been had a beautiful signal up here, which has really been nice. And I know it's conditions that are allowing us to do that. So it's always appreciated when the conditions are good, like tonight. Bummer on the shoulder with the injury there. And you know, I can kind of relate. I can kind of relate to what Billy's gone through. I mean, I've played since the 60s, high school days. I've played guitar, and I guess about, it's been a few years now. Some years back, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I crushed my right hand in we talked about this on the sideband roundtable, and a pure accident on the ground. I crushed my right hand, and I couldn't play. And the thing is, I never picked up a guitar again. A friend of mine came over, as another very accomplished guitarist, professional musician. He and I used to play together all the time. He came over and spent some time with us. He lives down in Orange County. We sat down and played, and it just wasn't there. And I know Billy is chomping at the bit to get back on the guitar, and you know, he's just a tremendous guitarist, and really enjoy seeing him and hearing him play. But you know, it's like, what do I do? Do I go back and start? I've got all this gear, amplifiers, guitars, all this stuff is just sitting idle. We've been talking about selling it. Billy says send it out to Tucson and we'll give it some love. Find some love for it out in Tucson. But we'll have to see what I do with all that. But yeah, it's a drag. So I get that. And regarding AGC, okay, yeah. So typically your S meter is measuring the AGC voltage, and what happens is when you back off the RF gain, that AGC voltage goes up, and so the meter is going to naturally go to the right, measuring a higher voltage. And I do know that some receivers go the other way. In fact, the R390, say R398 sitting here, if you look at the what they call carrier level meter, rather than an S meter, it's a carrier level meter, and it does not. If you crank the RF gain. Oops, hang on a second. Forget it. I'm not going to play with that. I don't want to turn it on while I'm transmitting. But it does just the opposite. It'll go down lower when you reduce the RF gain on that radio. So it's a little different on the R390s and R390As than like on the S line and 75A4 and those and many other receivers that are measuring that AGC voltage. So that's why they go different ways. And I don't know. You know, it would require extra circuitry probably to have it just measure the RF signal all the time and give you the RF signal level. It would take additional circuitry that they're making kind of dual use of the AGC circuitry to be able to use the meter like that. So hopefully that answers the question, and I think I got it right. Who knows anymore? I forgot what I had for breakfast today, much less how radios work. Anyway, enough of that. Bob, great to have you here tonight. Nice signal, and thanks as always. And it'd be nice to get down to SCARS. I haven't been to a SCARS meet for years. The last one I was at was in Fullerton at the airport over there, so before Ford shut down, Ford Electronics. Anyway, next on the list, Dave, WJ6, if I can speak English, WJ6W, there, I'll get it out. It's your turn. Go ahead, Dave, W6DQ.
Thank you, Dennis. Very good. W6DQ, WJ6W. Just want to make sure I'm putting out... Oh, I'm not. Just hang on a second. Sorry. Now this should be a little better. WJ6W here. I had earlier switched control over to my 7610 and forgot to switch it back to the Super Senior. So hopefully we're doing better here now. Anyway, Dennis, thanks for running the net tonight. Boy, beautiful conditions. I think I had really pretty much the same conditions last week when I was hosting the net, and it was really nice, really good net. So I know you're enjoying it tonight, Dennis, with these great conditions. Well, let's see, Billy, M6YW, people talking about Billy. Wow, it's great to hear that he's coming back. We missed him. He was there and a solid member, regular all the time, and then he was gone. So it's great to have him back. And I guess I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know what the cause of his injury was. But of course, that's pretty hard for him. I believe that's his income too. So at least some of it. So anyway, hopefully he's healing better. If you remember him playing guitar at one of George's AMI barbecues in San Ynez. It was kind of an after-hours thing, as I remember. A lot of people had left, and some of us were still hanging around, having a little more wine than we maybe should have. I don't know. We probably were staying overnight somewhere, so we weren't driving very far that evening. Anyway, Billy was playing, and it was really nice. So I do remember that. And let's see, Sharon, you fixed your own radio tonight. Fantastic. Look at this. You're going to be your own engineer before you know it. Let's see, and the S meters. Yes, I had an SP600, and the S meter when you turn the RF gain down, the S meter went to the left on that one too, and I think the meter said carrier level on it. I believe it probably did. So anyway, yeah, I think your explanation is probably correct there, Dennis. Anyway, we're running the Super Senior transmitter here, and going up to an inverted V out in the trees, up about 60 feet or so at the apex. AMI number is 1235. I don't know why I couldn't remember it right away, but anyway, 1235. No swap, no round table, and we'll send it back to you, Dennis. W6DQ, WJ6W.
All right, Dave. WJ6W in the AMI net, W6DQ. Yeah, we switched over, and big difference. I was going, where did Dave go? You got real noisy when you came back. When you came back to me, but you flipped the switch, and everything was A-OK. So sounds good. And the Super Senior is always sounding good on there. But yeah, fine business on the conditions, and yeah, it was nice last week as well. I do recall that. We had some nice conditions. And by the way, if you want to hear Billy play, I don't remember which one it is, but Gary Halverson, K6GLH, has a YouTube channel called California Hammond. And Billy did a soundtrack for him. And I happened to be there for the session. So we were sitting in Gary's living room and having a few drinks, and Billy was playing the guitar and recorded some music. It's really nice, and it really goes well. Now Gary's got some other music on there that I believe was just canned music that he used, but one of the tracks on there is from Billy. So you might go check that out. And by the way, if you haven't seen California Hammond, it's something definitely worth going and checking out. There's some just great videos of folks' stations that Gary has been to, some of which are no longer with us, unfortunately. One in particular I was thinking of is Werner, and I can't for the life of me think of his call. But Gary and his daughter toured Werner's station up there in Los Altos, and when they were still living up there. And that's a neat video, just really great stuff. Of course, Gary's videos of his station, his collection, were phenomenal. So yeah, definitely something worth going and checking out. Check out the videos on California Hammond. If you just look for California Hammond with K6GLH, you'll find it. So let's see. Now, I don't know if Paul stuck around. N6BZY, I'm going to call anyway and see if you're there. N6BZY, Paul, if you're there, go ahead and take a turn, because you sure sounded great earlier tonight. I hope you stuck around. This is W6DQ. No joy. So Paul he said he wasn't going to stick around. And I'm really sorry he didn't, because he really sounded fantastic tonight. That was a great signal. So next up, Dan, W6DKW. Hopefully you're still here and you stuck with it. We got you up next. Go ahead and take your turn from W6DQ, Net Control. Well, sorry to see Dan has gone by. Okay, Bob, NA7RH. Your turn. See how you're doing tonight. Good to hear from you. Always there. So go ahead and take it away, Bob. W6DQ.
Okay, very good, Dennis. W6DQ in the net, NA7RH. Bob here in the Phoenix area. Using the old 6DQ5 Sweep Tube Special. And I'm trying to flip off a little bit. And 8236 in the final, modulated by 4 1625s in parallel push-pull. Primarily out of the 1961 through 64 ARRL handbook. The signals are very nice tonight. I've been listening on the old one. Very basic night kit R55, it has been modified with a nice Hammond output transformer and a little bit of feedback. And it sounds just right nice with all the mobile audio coming through. So I'm certainly enjoying the net this evening. Everything is working fairly good. I haven't been doing a whole lot of hamming, but doing a little bit of working some of the expeditions that are out there, and checking into a couple of local AM groups on 2 meters and 40 meters and 80 meters, so it's all fun. What else? And a lot of housekeeping duty right now, trying to get a few pieces of the house upgraded, so nothing real serious, but keeping me very busy at the moment. What else? Great signals from everyone this evening, and I noticed that little bit of hum on there as well, and I just went through a similar exercise with T0ETD down in Tucson, and it turned out that he had a bad 6AU6 in the BFO of his DX100. I don't think that's problem. I don't think it's FMing, but sometimes it's instructed to see what's causing the problem. Okay, on the table, I'm watching my old Nightjet S-meter. It's got a homebrew S-meter external box here, and it's just going lock to lock with the QSB. We've got a lot of QSB in it. They used to call that selective phasing. I'm not sure where the phase distortion comes from. I guess it's more than just phase distortion. There's an amplitude to it as well, so, but what do I know about these things? Anyway, great to hear everyone this evening. Back to you, Dennis. W6DQ in the net, NA7LH.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. NA7LH. W6DQ, net controlled. Nice. Always good to hear you. Nice signal tonight. As always, you always sound really good here in Inyokern, and that's always appreciated, how good you sound out here. And it's a good night for the R55, that's for sure, because signals are just superb tonight. So, good deal. And interesting about hum caused by a bad 6AU6. Yeah, I could see, filaments running on AC, and maybe a short somewhere, getting something into the shorting out and posing some hum. That would possibly cause it to FM, but might cause some hum in general. But that's the one of the things I'm going to do on the KW1. I lost a ballast tube on the PTO. It failed, and I can't get a replacement for it. I've not been able to find one. So I figure what I'm going to do is the input is 24 volts. I'm going to just make a little DC to DC or AC to DC converter there, just a power supply. Take that 24 volts down to 6.3 volts DC, regulate it, and see how that does. That it's pretty stable as it is. I'm still noticing that I'm drifting down the band, and I really don't want to reach over and move it. It's clear over on the other side of the room, but we'll just live with that as I slowly drift away. But well, interesting about that 6AU6. Things like that do happen. So, and typically it would be like an audio tube getting some hum into the audio system. But anyway, all good. And the homebrew rig always sounds great out there. So thanks for being here. And next on the list we got Jeff, K5BLS in Carson City. It's your turn. Go right ahead and let us know what's going on up that way. This is W6DQ, net control.
Okay, W6DQ, K5BLS, Carson City. Just checking out to see what the carrier was here this evening. I just got my 75-meter antenna back up, which is another reason why I have not been on the net very often. Or at least diversity, having one of the headphones on one ear and then the other ear open. So anyway, let's see, running the Anon 7000 here this evening, doing about 100 watts of carrier, about looks like 450 watts peak. Anyhow, RE27 microphone into my Apex 230, into the Behringer 2496 to do some little compression, just a touch of EQ, and then into the Thetis here, where the rest of the magic is a oil chain. Anyway, only running at 3K this evening. Anyway, I'm not going to hold it too long. I need to wrap up the day and get to bed, but just wanted to kind of check things out. Like I said, I hadn't been here in a while, and since I got the 75-80 meter antenna backup, which is looking great, 1.5 SWR, I'll take that. And hopefully the signal is getting out to everybody and the fidelity is good. So with that, like I said, I'll keep it short on this one, but good to hear everybody. Hopefully you guys are a little more often. So Dennis, back over to you. W6DQ, K5BLS, Carson City.
Super. Very good, Jeff. K5BLS. W6DQ net control. Nice. Well, nice signal. Very nice. And I'm familiar with the Anon radios. One of my buddies here in Ineocurrent runs an Anon, and we're always competing with each other. We run a Flex 6700 here for our main radio, so we're always giving each other a hard time. But it's a nice radio. Anon's done a good job, and one of the few that you can actually do true diversity with. Which is a real disappointment with the 6700 because it doesn't do real diversity. Although I think I've got a workaround for it. I've got to deal with. But I've got a couple of 5000As sitting on the shelf that I would make a perfect diversity. Each one of them with dual receivers will make a good diversity receiver. But yeah, that would sure help out. Yeah, that's right, Bob. You commented about selective fading. That is the term. Typically, we use selective fading when we're talking about teletype. Because even with narrow shift, 170 hertz shift, selective fading will knock out one of the signals. So it's narrow band, and so that was where the selective fading, and that's why you ran diversity. One of the reasons for running diversity for teletype was to be able to combat that. We've got the real estate here to do spatial diversity. We've got 5 acres and lots of room to put up more antennas, so I'm going to have to play with that. But Jeff, glad you got your antenna back up and glad you're back on the air and are able to join us. I hope we hear you more here in the future. And I was just looking at your QRZ page. Yeah, I didn't remember the call sign, but as soon as I pulled up your QRZ page, I remembered I've heard you on here before, so I know who you are now, and that's cool. Very good. Now I like I like your your repurposed IKEA desk for your station. That's good deal. That's what we're using our operating desk here as an IKEA dining table. I've got like 9 of these things in the shack. So yeah, we love those things. So good to have you here. Like I say, a nice signal tonight. Really nice audio. So thanks for coming in tonight. Last on the list, I've got John, WA6JUS. John, go ahead and take your turn from W6DQ.
Coyote signing off.
All right. Let me just check. Am I on frequency?
You're close enough. You're in the passband and you sound just fine.
All right. I haven't been following very close. We went back out to the nut pond and had burgers out there, and it's a hard day, and so I haven't been able to follow things very well, but I'm glad that I got home. And maybe I'll play at Wyndham Sea. They're having their concert. Maybe I will. I don't know. But we're playing for the kids. There's going to be a spook house at the Mission Bay Yacht Club, so we'll have to play some spooky music. Of course, I'm fortunate. I can do spooky in the cool of the evening and so forth. But I'm wasted again, so. But at least the radio works. I'll just have to say 73. 1258 is my number. Back to you. Thanks again for running it. I'll listen out. WA6JUS.
Okay, John, very good. WA6JUS and the AMI West Coast Net, W6DQ. Phew, here we go again. Steve, I need your buzzer, darn it. W6DQ, net control. I'm going to have to rig something up here. I need a raspberry. Anyway, thanks, John. And yeah, it's sounding good. And yeah, we're about on the same frequency. I've drifted down, like I said, a little bit. I'm looking at the spectrum scope on the Flex, and I'm looking at where I am right now, and I'm a little bit down the band, so well, out a little bit down the pass band, and you're in about the same spot, so no worries at all copying in there. And fine business on Spooky. I love it. Great tune. All right. Okay, well, that's the end of my list as I have it. Let's see if there's anybody else who would be interested in joining us. This is W6DQ for the West Coast AMI Net. Please come now. Thank you, Steve. I needed that. Okay, hearing none, seeing no carriers, I'm going to call it a night here for the net. And boy, I've really enjoyed this tonight. This has been a lot of fun. And I did a couple of goofs. I know. I forgot to tune up. I'll try to do better next time. I know I will. Just fool me once. Anyway, nice to have everybody here. Great to hear Sharon and our two ladies of AMI. Great to have them both on here tonight. And everyone else, just wonderful signals. Thanks, Ron, for your efforts earlier this evening and taking the early list. And look forward to having Sharon back here next week as Net Control with a beautiful signal out of Orange, California. So with that, I'm going to say 7-3 and a good evening. Everyone have a great week, a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next time next week. So this is W6DQ officially closing. Actually, you know, before I do, I only had one taker on the round table, so we probably won't do a round table. If anybody's interested in sticking around for a round table, I won't stop you. But Jack was the only one that mentioned that he might stick around, but I didn't hear anybody else say they'd be on the round table tonight. We're certainly not gonna stay here. We're gonna go back to the house. So I will officially close the AMI West Coast Net for Wednesday evening. This is W6DQ again saying 7-3, and we'll see you all next time. Good night.